Mangwanani Malelepo Vukenjani Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Berry and Gledora Shipura. How are you, Glenn?
I'm doing quite okay considering the circumstances.
Which ones?
The one from last night.
I assume you're talking about rugby?
Yes, I'm talking about rugby, yes.
Yeah, it was a bit of a...
Yes.
A tense one.
Yes, a very tense one. Well, getting into what you can expect in today's broadcast, trial of HIV vaccine to start in South Africa. UNESCO puts Rwanda genocide memorials on World Heritage List. India tells citizens in Canada to exercise caution as relations worsen. We'll also be crossing over to Mike Sichula all the way in Zambia, who's going to be filling us in on the news, making waves there. Do stay tuned for these stories and more news on Africa Good Morning.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Getting into our top stories, South Africa and the United States are to start testing a new preventative HIV vaccine and have begun enrolling participants to take part in a clinical trial. According to U.S. state research agency, the National Institutes of Health, the vaccine called VIR-1388 is designed to help a body's T cells. These are part of the immune system and patrol and inspect other cells for problems. The vaccine is intended to instruct the immune system to produce T cells that can recognize HIV and signal an immune response to prevent the virus from establishing chronic infection. The vaccine trial is funded by the NIH, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the U.S. company VIR Biotechnology.
UNESCO puts Rwanda genocide memorials on World Heritage List. 4 memorials to the 1994 genocide in Rwanda of more than 800,000 people, mainly Tutsi, were added to UNESCO's World Heritage List on Wednesday, the UN cultural body said. Other sites at Nyamata, Murambi, Gizozi, and Bisesero commemorating the mass killings were just inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, the organization announced. The 4 sites commemorate the genocide that targeted the Tutsi minority in large, but also moderate Hutus who were shot, beaten, or hacked to death by Hutu extremists between April and July 1994. This historic decision will help safeguard memory, counter denial, and strengthen genocide prevention efforts globally.
Now, India on Wednesday urged its nationals in Canada, especially students, to exercise caution as ties deteriorate after each nation expelled one of the other's diplomats in an escalating row over the murder of Sikh separatist leader. Tension has grown since Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Monday Canada was investigating credible allegations about the potential involvement of Indian government agents in the murder of Hardeep Singh Nijjar in British Columbia in June. In view of growing anti-India activities and politically condoned hate crimes and criminal violence in Canada, all Indian nationals there and those contemplating travel are urged to exercise utmost caution, India's foreign ministry said, without providing evidence or details of specific incidents. Just hours after India travel advisory, Canada's public safety minister Dominic LeBlanc told reporters that Canada is a safe country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has categorically rejected Canada's suspicions that Indian agents had links to the murder.
In our next story, Iran MPs vote to toughen penalties for women who breach dress code. Now, Iranian women who flout the strict Islamic dress code mandating head coverings and modest clothing would face up to 10 years prison under a bill passed on Wednesday. The push to step up penalties comes a year after a wave of protests sparked by the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who had been arrested for allegedly breaching the rules. Since then, a growing number of Iranian women have been seen in public without hijab headscarves or observing the rules against clothes that are deemed too tight-fitting or otherwise revealing. Iran's legislature approved the support for the culture of hijab and chastity bill for a trial period of 3 years. The official IRNA news agency reported out of the 290 lawmakers, 152 voted in favor, 35 against, and 7 abstained. With the remainder absent, the bill still requires approval by the Guardian Council. Now, last year's protests, labeled foreign-instigated riots by Iranian authorities, saw hundreds of people killed, including dozens of security personnel and thousands arrested.
And Kenya's pharmaceutical regulator has recalled an oral medicine used to relieve pain and fever in children, citing urgent safety concerns. The Pharmacy and Poisons Board said it had received multiple market complaints regarding the quality of several batches of the paracetamol oral solution called Tamidol. The PPB ordered pharmacists to halt the sale of the branded drug and urged the public to return any stocks to the nearest health facility. Manufactured by a Kenyan pharmaceutical company, it becomes the 9th in a growing list of medicines so far recalled by the regulator this year alone. Stay with us as we talk to Mike Sichula after the break.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Now, if there's one thing I love, it is innovation, particularly when it is designed for the communities residing around you. A 29-year-old man constructed a mini hydropower plant on the Manyinga River that can provide 10 houses with electricity in Zambia. And who better to fill us in with all things Zambian than Mr. Mike Sichula. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, Africa. Good morning.
Africa, good morning indeed.
Yes.
Tell us more about this hydro plant.
Yes, like you've lightly put it, Abel Mubanga, like his name suggests, Abel, so meaning he's able to do many things. So he started working on this mini hydro project in 2021 and is now currently producing electricity and slab his house. You can see him there in the picture with his mini hydro plant across the Manyinga River. So he's taken advantage of the good flow of water and he's managed to erect something that is made from scrap metal, planks, and a few engineering components that is put in there, and he's been able to supply electricity to his house. And he's saying the project is able to supply. He said the invention is in need of additional funding because it will help the distribution of electricity in his area. Mr. Mwanga was having a chat when representatives from the Rural Electrification Authority, led by the Chief Executive Officer, Linus Chanda, visited his mini hydro plant. So the organization is also keen on collaborating with locals who have suggestions for enhancing electricity connectivity in rural areas, according to Mr. Chanda. Then the invention by Mr. Mwanga ties in very well with a presidential speech that was issued by President Chilema in Parliament, where he encouraged electricity companies to partner with local electricity producers so that those lead tapes that are normally associated to make things easier should be loosened up so that they encourage more local players, more local electricity producers to come on the market. So the case of Abel Mubanga is one of those that has encouraged many Zambians, and they're asking that he must be supported so that this project can become big.
Well, the support is definitely a step in the right direction. Now moving on, the Patriotic Front, the previous ruling party of Zambia, is embroiled in internal disputes as a result of the failure to organize an election convention for new office holders on time. Can you expand on this?
So what has happened is that when the PF left office in 2021, the president of the party was former President Edgar Lungu. So as you know, the Zambian constitution does not allow a former president. If you want to remain as a former president, you must resign from political activities. So what President Lungu has done is that he has told government that he is no longer involved in politics, but he is still holding the position of PF president, and he has appointed a former justice minister, given Rwanda, to be acting as president of the party. So they were supposed to go for the elective convention for the last 1 year, which they have not done so. It is upon that convention that President Lungu is supposed to hand over instruments of power to whoever will be elected as president. But what has been happening is that the acting president has been appointing people to key positions of the party. So that letter that you are seeing there is one of the complaints that has been raised by a nephew of the late President Michael Sata, Mao Sampa, who is a member of parliament in Matero, Lusaka. So he is challenging this appointment that has been coming. So the last time there was an appointment, he went to the secretariat of the PF, and he caused a lot of commotion. And today also is expected to hold a briefing at the same PF secretariat in Lusaka. And likely, there's a strong likelihood that there could be a battle of the two, or the battle of these members, because they are fighting for who is who in terms of controlling the party. So this is the division that is has engulfed the former ruling party. But the current leadership of the PF is saying they cannot allow another person to take over from Mr. Lungu, because they believe he still has what he can do to the Zambian people going into the 2026 general elections.
I mean, listening to that, Mike, it seems like the government stopping Mr. Lungu from taking that flight out of the country was a blessing in disguise. It seems like he's got a lot to take care of at home. However, we swing over to a rather sad story in northern Zambia. Police are searching for a preacher who has allegedly defiled 3 girls.
Very, very sad story indeed, like you stated. So police have launched investigations for a pastor who defiled 3 girls from one family after enticing them to a nearby bush with sweets. Pastor Abel Sichivula of Pentecostal Holiness Church allegedly defiled the 4 girls aged between 8 and 13 years on September 14th. The suspect used his granddaughter, who plays with the girls, to entice them to a nearby bush, promised them sweets and bubble gums, according to police Muchinga Province Deputy Commanding Officer Leonard Zambo. The girls were evacuated after being rushed to Nakonde District Hospital. According to the statement from the police and the hospital, they are saying that the girls are in stable condition, that they have not disclosed if the girls have been found with any sexual transmitted disease, but they have just only stopped at saying that the girls are in stable conditions. But investigations have been launched to establish where this pastor is and what was the motive behind his barbaric activities to defile young girls of that age.
Well, truly, truly sad and horrific indeed. Now moving on, the Zambian government proposes to provide victory bonuses for all sports. Can you get into this?
So traditionally what has been happening is that only the national football teams have been entitled to winning bonuses. All these other sporting disciplines like boxing, swimming, darts, basketball have not been entitled to any bonuses. So there you can see is the minister in the blue jersey, that is Chinyemba, who just recently qualified to the 2024 Olympics. So he was presenting his medals to the minister yesterday. So the minister says, according to the sports minister, Elvis Nkando, this is aimed at treating sports disciplines equally and inspire sportsmen to keep winning medals. He claims that the initiatives are being taken to guarantee that sources are available so that athletes can travel for all for all occasions in the African region. So that is also, she's one of the female boxers that also she picked up a bronze medal during the African Championship in Ghana, in Senegal. She did not manage to qualify to the Olympics, but she did pick up a bronze medal. So, but for Patrick Chinyemba, he has also been awarded $5,000 by the government for his qualifications to the Paris 2024 Olympics. And this initiative that the ministers stated is likely going to motivate all sports disciplines to work hard whenever they go out of the country and reap more medals.
All right, and we certainly hope that works out for Zambia. Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from the real Africa.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning. Do have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Mike. We certainly hope to do so. Let's head to the weather predictions.
Now getting into our economic news, Morocco to spend $11.7 billion on 5-year post-quake reconstruction plan. Morocco plans to spend at least 120 billion dirhams, $11.7 billion, in a post-earthquake reconstruction plan over the next 5 years, the Royal Palace said on Wednesday. A 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck on September 8, killing more than 2,900 people, mostly in the hard-to-reach villages of the High Atlas Mountains.
All right, we're going to head into the economic indicators just before we return with the sport. Getting into our sports stories, Simone Biles is set to compete in her 6th World Championships this month after posting the all-top round score at US qualifying competition, USA Gymnastics said on Wednesday. Biles, a 4-time Olympic champion and 19-time world gold medalist, headlines the 5-woman team heading to Antwerp, Belgium.
Now, Tottenham Hotspur chairman Daniel Levy has said it was a mistake to hire Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, adding that the Premier League club needed to go back to its roots with new manager Enge Postecoglou. In March, former Juventus coach Conte became the second serial-winning manager to leave the North London side in a little more than 3 years after they also sacked Mourinho 2 years ago.
Mourinho has got more championships than Tottenham, and so do I. I have the same amount of championships as Tottenham. All right. After a year's delay due to COVID-19, the 19th Asian Games officially opens in Hangzhou on Saturday, with host China eager to lift a country mired to economic gloom and athletes hoping to lay a marker before next year's Paris Olympics. And talking some rugby, it was tough luck. Tough luck feels like an understatement for the Velviches as they faced France last night. The score was 96-0. It was quite a tense clash. Here's what Velviches rugby team coach Alistair Coetzee had to say after the match.
Media holdings. Alistair, obviously lots to play for still next week. Probably there's, we don't want to fast forward to that straight away, but at least there's another game and short turnaround, but it can be, things can be fixed, I suppose, in the...
It has to be. It has to be. Look, our objective is still alive. It is a short turnaround, definitely, but we have to regroup as quickly as possible. I think the biggest blow for us is losing our captain in the 44th minute. And I think that will also have an impact in the plan to regroup. But I'm positive about the leadership that we've had in the team. Our job is to get the players fresh for the last game against Uruguay. Leadership must make sure that the plan is better executed. A couple of fresh players are coming back, more experienced players are coming back. We take it from there. I think this has been a bit of a horror movie. We've got to get it out of the way as quickly as possible and focus on the next one. I'm sure when you get the result next week, this will probably be forgotten and it's mission accomplished for us. So the sooner we start focusing on the next one, the better.
We certainly thank Ari Hohart for bringing us all the latest content from the French World Cup. Ari, bring me some wine, leave the croissants there. Headlines after the break.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
So that's Africa. Good morning on Friday, the 22nd of September. Let's have a look at the highlights from this morning's broadcast. Trial of HIV vaccine to start in South Africa. UNESCO puts Rwanda genocide memorials on World Heritage List. Morocco to spend $11.7 billion on 5-year post-quake reconstruction plan. Those have been our stories.
And with that, we've come to the end of our broadcast. Thank you for tuning in all week and spending your morning with us. Africa, good morning. From me, Glenora Shipora.
And me, Ashwin Berry, Velviches will still be playing Uruguay. Fingers crossed. Cheers.